So what I'm going to start off with is just briefly talking about some facts about writing achievement in New Zealand, an introduction to the effective practices in writing resource in terms of how it's laid out, key principles and areas of knowledge that the resource kind of talks about that we believe are kind of underpin effective teaching of writing. Then get on to the 7 effective practices that are in the resource and with examples from the DVD as we go, and and then talk about how to use it in a PD situation. So that's kind of the flavour of what I'm doing today. So firstly, some facts about writing achievement. NEMP is our National Education Monitoring Project, and every 4 years, Year 4 and Year 8 students are sampled on key kind of curriculum areas. And in 2002 and 2006 is the data for writing. And this is just a few points about writing achievement for Year 8 students as kind of the closest to the kids that we work with. Writing ranked 10th out of 12 school tasks in terms of how they like it, whether they like it or not. Sorry. I don't think there's any chairs left, but one over there. Girls score better than boys on over 85% of tasks. Boys are less positive than girls in attitudes towards writing. Attitude declines with age. And Māori and Pacifica students score less well on 39% of tasks. Probably nothing too surprising there. And then the In Focus statistics. In Focus was a resource released by the Ministry of Education in New Zealand in 2006. And one of the key statements that it had in there is that many secondary school age students are not improving beyond level 3. So introduction to the resource, just very briefly, so you can kind of get a feel for it. There's the teacher's book resource, which is the part of it that I've been kind of responsible for producing. And in that, you've got a brief history of teaching of writing in New Zealand, mainly from the 1970s kind of through till kind of now, which is very brief, just a few pages. Evidence from the research about what is effective practice in teaching writing. Links to the New Zealand curriculum's effective pedagogies are described. And then classroom examples that link to the DVD classroom examples. So that's the teacher's book resource. And then the DVD, it's about 2.5 hours of footage in the DVD. There are 4 teachers who were filmed in Christchurch during 2010, ranging from Year 9 class through to Year 12 class. And it's kind of organised so you can view it in 2 ways. You can view it by school and watch for kind of like 35, 40 minutes from the whole school, or you can view by practice. And so what we've done is kind of each of the 7 practices that we'll be talking about today, you can see a couple of examples about 2 or 3 minutes from a couple of the different classes that kind of show or exemplify each practice. Okay, I thought we'd now take a chance to see an example from the DVD. I'll just have to go and do a bit of a setup there. We're going to see Linda McTaggart from Linwood High School in Christchurch. She's teaching a Year 9 class, and she's teaching them poetry. It's kind of like an intro to poetry. And we're going to watch 10 minutes of this one, so we're going to see quite a decent kind of chunk of this lesson. And what I'm asking you as you're watching, think about what is it that Linda's doing that you would say are effective practices?
Yeah, there's quite a few different abilities in the class amongst the students, and also different attitudes towards writing, which can be a barrier for some of them. So one of the ways to help them is to get them to work together, do a lot of group work, and also with their writing, sharing ideas, passing things around the classroom, brainstorming things up on the board, just to break down those any barriers that there might be with either ability or attitude. We're going to do the same thing, but with a whole lot of new ideas. So we're going to look at things that are exciting, things that are fragile, things that are comfortable, things that are scary, things that are fast, and things that are angry. And I want you to think of unusual and original ideas. Okay, you can be as specific as you like. And we're going to take one of these each group, so there's 6 of them, and I want you to have 2 minutes in your group to write down as many ideas as you can about the sheet that you've got, and after 2 minutes you're going to stop, pass it on, and you'll get a new one, and you add to that list.
One of the things that helped me with my writing today was using the posters, because there's like heaps of ideas on there.
The students in our class, they're great at giving ideas, and at the end of the day, you just have to combine them, and well, you just got to put it down there.
Well, it was helpful to like talk about the stuff with the people around the table, because we all have different ideas, and like I can just like gather in ideas from them and just turn it into like sentences and stuff to put it in. So yeah, being with the group, like talking it out is easier than using it yourself.
What I want you to do is find maybe 3 really interesting ones just on the sheet and just read them out really quickly, one person from each group.
Teachers, parents and killers.
And what was your topic?
Things that are angry.
Things that are fragile. Birds, grass, newborn babies.
Training people, trampolines, and sofas.
And those are things that are
Comfortable.
We're going to make a bit of a leap here. We're going to jump from some really literal things that actually are scary and are fast, and we're going to jump into describing other things using those ideas. So I've written some ideas up here. I'm going to think of things that are slow, and I'm going to describe something that might be slow, might be when you miss somebody, and you're really waiting for them to come back or to come home, they're far away, and time goes really slow. And so instead of just saying, time's really slow, you could say, waiting for you is a Monday morning. Because that's one of the ideas you guys came up with about things that are slow. Waiting for you is a Monday morning. Time is a nana driver. The days are sluggish snails. Missing you is a bus stop and the rain. So we started the lesson with brainstorming things that are slow, and I really wanted them to get the idea of just being creative, working with words, sharing ideas, and modelling on the board what they were going to have to do in their groups. And it was an inroad for them to see how ideas could be metaphorical, how you could think of things in different ways. So can you tell me now, what do you think a metaphor might be?
Describing something while using something else.
Yeah, fantastic. You're describing something while using something else. So we're describing slowness using these other ideas. All right, you've looked at all of your ideas there on the sheet. Has anyone got any ideas written down that look a little bit like some of these? Well, so there you go.
Things that are fragile. People.
People, how are people fragile?
I don't know about emotions.
But first of all, we're going to decide what we think your metaphor poem should have in it. What are some of the, like a checklist of what you should be looking for when you're writing it? Do you know what, I'm going to add one more up there, which is just to be original. See if we can find some things that no one's said before. What I want you to do now is hold up your big sheets of paper. Let's have a look at them. Hold them up, big sheets of paper with your things that are fragile, things that are. Yeah, so everyone knows who they are around the room. I want you to have a look. If you need to move and have a look at another sheet, that's okay. Because here's some topic starters for you. The one that we did up here was waiting for you or missing you. There's heaps of other ideas you can write about that would use interesting and unusual and original ways of describing them. So my intention during the lesson was to keep referring back to the success criteria so that they knew where they were going and what they were meant to be doing. Otherwise they could easily get distracted on just talking about things that are slow or things that are hot or cold without having a purpose for it. Alright, and you're back with your journals, go for it. Now I don't want this to be a perfect piece of writing, just draft it, create it and change it. Be a teenager, our friendship is, her eyes are someone that you know is, or again, missing you is. So I want you to take one of those sentence starters, relate it to the words on your page, think of something that sounds like a description of that, and check your checklist.
The metaphor I used in my writing was like you being the coffee and I being the toast, and you being the ink and I being the printer. When I said that, it was like, it was about my friends and stuff, like how great they are and how much I appreciate them.
So what I want you to do is, in your group, have a look at what everybody's written, you can read it to each other or pass your books around, and decide as a group which one best fits our checklist. And then someone in the group will read it out. It doesn't have to be the person who wrote it, but someone will read that poem out. So in their groups, to really give them a bit of encouragement, we get them, I got them to work together in their group and decide, based on the checklist that we'd made up, whose was the best piece, because it helps, it gives the kids a sense of self-worth and self-esteem, and if 3 other people have said, yeah, yours is the best piece, and here's the reasons why, based on what we were supposed to be doing today. And also it means that ones that might be really good writers but maybe are quite shy, they're not the ones that has to offer their piece and read it out in front of the class. Someone else can read it, it can be anonymous, but that student still gets a sense of pride. Julie, you can read yours out, or the person from your group.
Anybody want to read it for me?
Okay.
Thank you. Well, a girl helped me choose the metaphors that I use.
Her eyes are a road that never stops. It is a dream that you can't reach. It is a flow in the ocean that goes on and on. Her eyes are birds that stay in the sky.
Well, liking somebody is like, it's something that kills you inside, but like writing it down makes you feel like you're letting it all out.
Now that you've heard a whole lot of other people's ones, look back at your own one, and you've got a chance to make it a little bit better, maybe change some ideas, maybe bring something fresh or different into what you wrote. So spend a bit of time changing what you've done, and then when you've got it to a point where you think, yep, I'm ready now, publish it onto this piece of paper, and we're going to stick them up on the wall where everyone else can see them. So my challenge for you for your homework is over the next couple of days, when you're listening to your favourite songs or listening to the radio, I want you to listen out for any metaphors, any metaphorical ideas, ideas that make something sound like a person or describe things in a metaphorical way, and come back to us, and we're going to share those ideas as a group.
Poetry's like cool now, all of a sudden.
Alright guys, today what we're going to...
Okay, so if you can now just have a couple of minutes to share about the things that you noticed that Linda was doing that you can identify as, yeah, that's an effective practice, and just have a chat about those a little bit amongst yourselves, and I'll ask for a few ideas later. Even if you think about those 10 minutes are incredibly rich. It's a really precious kind of thing, really, to be able to, for a teacher to be willing to be filmed and to do their practice in class. In terms of how we worked about getting the teachers and things, what happened is that in 2009 we decided we were doing this project. Mike, who's the guy who's filming me today, he was in Christchurch. He's our